Bridge course, subject English, class 8, day 7 and 8, page number 38 to 43.
Hello children, how are you all? Are you all fine? Very good. So, I welcome you all to another English grammar class. We are studying continuously about many grammar parts in English, and in today's class, we are going to see in this module day 7 and 8, page number 38, day 7. The topic is syllabification. So very easy and very interesting grammar part we are going to study today, syllabification. Do you have any idea about syllabification? Yes, you would have already learnt or already you would have heard about it. Okay, I'll ask you a few questions. How many letters are there in English language? You all know there are 26 alphabets in English language. In that 26 letters, do you know how many letters we say as vowel? Yes, there are 5 vowel letters. And do you know how many vowel sounds are there in English language? Letters 5 we have already seen, but there are 20 vowel sounds. Using the 5 letters, we are making 20 different sounds. So here, this 20 sounds we can divide as 7 short vowels, 5 long vowels, and 8 diphthongs. To understand easily, we can see the Tamil language. Okay, in Tamil language, we have உயிர் எழுத்துக்கள், மெய் எழுத்துக்கள். Here, உயிர் எழுத்துக்கள் is vowel sounds. You relate Tamil உயிர் எழுத்துக்கள் with vowel sounds of English. So, the same. உயிர் எழுத்துக்கள் and English vowels are the same. The sounds you should know. You forget about the letters. A, E, I, O, U, you forget it. Just remember all the sounds. Okay. So, Tamil language நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணி இந்த syllabification இன்னும் நம்ம ஈஸியாக படிக்க போகிறோம். So, there are 7 long vowels. இதை எப்படி ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிக்கலாம்னா தமிழில் ஆ, ஈ, ஊ, like that we are having long pronouncing letters. So, அதே மாதிரி தான் இங்கிலீஷ்லேயும் we are having long vowels. Same way we are having short vowels. Short vowels a, e. Just like that we have got short vowels in English. And diphthongs. Diphthongs means 2 vowel sounds put together or pronounced together to give one sound. That is diphthong. So, all these sounds come together to form 20 vowel sounds. Okay, now we have learnt about vowel sounds. Okay, the next is the consonant sounds. What is a consonant? What the rest of the vowel sounds are called as consonants. Even we can say consonant letters also. So, in English language, we have got 24 consonant sounds. Now, how do we pronounce a word? ஒரு வார்த்தையை நம்ம எப்படி உச்சரிக்கிறோம் இங்கிலீஷில் எடுத்துக்கலாம். We don't spell. We are having the word as school. We don't say S-C-H-O-O-L. We pronounce it as school. It is a word, one word. And if there is one vowel sound, that is called a syllable. And many words, they have 2 syllable, 3 syllable. For example, the word yesterday. Here we pronounce it as yesterday. Here we have 3 syllable. So we pronounce a word in English according to its syllable. So that is we are going to study today. So what is a syllable? Syllable na enna? Nama eppadi therinjikalam? Here are 2 definition. So syllable is a unit of letters or alphabets. They are put together and one vowel sound will be dominant in that. ஒரு 2 அல்லது 3 letters, alphabets, English alphabets வந்து சேர்ந்து இருக்கும். அதில் ஒரு வவல் சவுண்டு டாமினண்ட்டாக உயர்ந்து நிற்கும். அப்படி இருக்கிறது ஒரு சிலபிள். ஸோ திஸ் சிலபிள் கேன் பி சிங்கிள் லெட்டர் ஈவன். ஒரு சிங்கிள் வவல் மட்டும் வந்தால் கூட சில நேரங்களில் அது ஒரு சிலபிளாக பிரித்து நம்ம உச்சரிக்கிறோம். சம்டைம்ஸ் இந்த சிலபிள், இந்த வவல் சவுண்டு கூட கான்சனன்ஸ் சேர்ந்து வரும். வவல் இல்லாத லெட்டர்ஸ் முன்னாடியோ பின்னாடியோ இட் வில் சரவுண்ட் த வவல் டு கிவ் ஒன் சிலபிள். ஸோ ஒரு சிலபிள் அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது நம்ம வந்து ஒரு உயிர் ஒலி உடைய ஒரு சின்ன யூனிட் ஆஃப் ஆல்ஃபபெட்ஸை நம்ம வந்து அதில் ஒரு சிலபிள் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஹவு டு பிரேக் அ வேர்ட் இன்டு சிலபிள்ஸ். ஒரு வார்த்தையை எப்படி நம்ம சிலபிள்ஸாக பிரிக்கிறது அப்படின்றதுக்கு நமக்கு சில ரூல்ஸ் எல்லாம் கொடுத்துருக்குறாங்க. ஓகே, த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரூல் வந்து இஃப் அ வேர்ட் ஹேஸ் 2 கான்சனன்ட் லெட்டர்ஸ் இன் த மிடில். ஒரு வார்த்தையினுடைய நடுவில் 2 கான்சனன்ட் லெட்டர்ஸ் சேர்ந்து வந்துருந்துச்சுன்னா நம்ம அதை 2ஆக பிரிச்சுக்கலாம். we can make it as 2 syllable. For example, sudden. Here we are having 2 consonant letters D in between. So we are separating the word as sudden. So 2 syllables. Likewise, there are many examples. I'll give you the examples. Sudden, yellow, computer. Okay, now one rule I have told you. 2 கான்சனன்ட்ஸ் வந்தால் நம்ம பிரிச்சுக்கலாம். பட் அதில் எக்ஸப்ஷன்ஸ் இருக்குது. சில இடங்களில் நம்ம அப்படி பிரிக்க முடியாது. அந்த மாதிரியான வேர்ட்ஸ் வந்து அல்லது லெட்டர்ஸ் 2 கான்சனன்ட்ஸ் நம்ம எப்போ பிரிக்க முடியாது அப்படின்னா சிஹெச் அப்படின்ற லெட்டர்ஸ் சேர்ந்து வந்தால் நம்ம பிரிக்க முடியாது. பிஹெச் அப்படின்ற லெட்டர்ஸ் சேர்ந்து வந்தால் பிரிக்க முடியாது. டிஹெச் அப்படின்ற லெட்டர்ஸ் சேர்ந்து வந்தால் பிரிக்கக்கூடாது. எஸ்ஹெச் அப்படின்ற லெட்டர்ஸ் சேர்ந்து வந்தால் பிரிக்கக்கூடாது. டபிள்யூஹெச் அப்படின்ற லெட்டர்ஸ் சேர்ந்து வந்தாலும் பிரிக்கக்கூடாது. ஏன் நம்ம இந்த லெட்டர்ஸை பிரிக்கக்கூடாது அப்படின்னா இந்த 2 லெட்டர்ஸும் சேர்ந்து தான் நமக்கு ஒரு சவுண்ட் கொடுக்குது. இங்கிலீஷில் இந்த 2 லெட்டர்ஸ் சேர்ந்தா நமக்கு ஒரு சவுண்ட் கிடைக்கும். சிஹெச் அப்படின்ற லெட்டர்ஸை நம்ம சேர்த்து ஹெச் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி நம்ம உச்சரிக்கிறோம். அதே மாதிரி எஸ்ஹெச் சேர்ந்து வச்சுன்னா இஷ் அப்படின்னு உச்சரிக்கிறோம். ஓகேவா? ஸோ there we cannot separate as a syllable. இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம வந்து இந்த 2 லெட்டர்ஸை செப்பரேட் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஸோ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஐ வில் கிவ் யூ சம் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ். பர்ச்சேஸ், எலிஃபண்ட், மதர், ஃபாதர், cashew, fashion. Okay, the next rule is when there is one consonant in the middle of a word, if there is one consonant in the middle of a word, you separate before the consonant. அந்த கான்சனன்ட்டுக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கிற ஆல்ஃபபெட்ஸை தனியாக ஒரு சிலபிளாக பிரிச்சிடலாம், பின்னாடி இருக்கிறத இன்னொரு சிலபிளாக பிரிச்சிடலாம். ஸோ இது ஒரு ரூல். ஸோ ஃபார் திஸ் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் ஆர் today, tonight. Here todayல நடுவில் D வருது. ஸோ we are getting a consonant in the middle of the word. ஸோ அந்த Dக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கிறத ஒரு சிலபிளாக பிரிச்சிடுறோம், அந்த Dயோட சேர்த்து பின்னாடி டேயை இன்னொரு சிலபிளாக பிரிச்சிடுறோம். The next one is இல் அப்படின்ற சவுண்டில் முடிகிற words. This words will take another alphabet before this LE letter. LE அப்படின்ற லெட்டரில் முடியும் ஒரு வேர்டு. அந்த LEக்கு முன்னாடி அது ஒரு ஆல்ஃபபெட் எடுத்திருக்கும். அந்த ஆல்ஃபபெட்டுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம அதை பிரிச்சுக்கணும். We can separate as a syllable. So for example, we can see humble, trouble, little. Next is when we have 2 words put together as a compound word, we can separate the 2 words as 2 syllables, 2 different syllables, or sometimes even it will be separated as 3 syllables. So the 2 words in between we can separate it. For example, keyboard, moonlight, milkman. So keyboard we can separate as 2 syllables. The next one, prefix and suffix. You know, when we add something before a word, that part is called as prefix of the word. Example, we can add un, in, non, like that. These are called as prefix. And when we add something after the word, just one unit of alphabets after the main word, then there we should separate the suffix as one syllable. When we add some unit after a word, that is called as suffix, and here we should separate the suffix as one syllable. So prefix and suffix. Prefix and suffixes are always separated as one syllable. Next one is Y. Y is a consonant, but for some words, when we get this Y at the end, when we get Y at the end of a word, it is pronounced with E sound. When we get Y at the end of a word, it is pronounced with E sound. So there, it will become a separate syllable. For example, happy. H-A-P-P-Y, we pronounce it as happy. So here it is two syllable, happy. And city is another example, C-I-T-Y. Though we have got Y at the end, we pronounce it as E sound and we take it as a vowel sound and we separate it as a syllable. Okay, next one. When there are two vowels together in a word, when you get two vowels together, they make one sound. You should not separate it as two. Don't take it as two syllable. When they are coming together, two vowel sounds, when they come together, that should be taken as one sound. That sound is called as diphthong sound. So we should take it as one syllable. For example, boat, dream, shout, year, die. Next one, in some words, we get E at the end of the word and it will not be pronounced. The E will not be pronounced. We'll write E in the spelling, but we won't pronounce it. For example, wine, W-I-N-E. We say wine, but we don't pronounce that end E. So it should not be considered as a vowel sound. It is not considered, there is no sound. We are not making any sound for that E letter. So it is not considered as a syllable. Now we shall count the syllables in the words. In English we have so many words and some words will have one syllable. Some words are having two syllables. Some words are having three syllables and so on. So all these types of syllabification, they are named. So one syllabic word is named as monosyllabic. Mono means one. This is the first one, monosyllabic words. So if a word is having only one syllable in it, then it is called as monosyllabic word. So here we will be getting only one vowel sound in that word. So it is considered as one syllabic word. For example, dog, cat, rat, man, stop, smile, dance. The next one is, we know, so two syllable words. So how can we name that? It is named as disyllabic words. So when a word gets two syllables in it, then we name it as disyllabic words. For example, inside, remain, repair, beauty. The next one is trisyllabic words. We know tri means three. So trisyllabic words. If a word consists of three syllables in it, then it is considered as trisyllabic words. Shall we see some example for this? Beautiful, important, different, difficult. The next one is tetrasyllabic words. So we have seen three syllabic words So the next one is automatically it is 4 syllabic words. It is called as tetrasyllabic words. So when a word gets 4 syllables in it, then it is called as tetrasyllabic words. For example, encouragement, development. The next one is multi-syllabic words. Here, when we get more than 4 syllables in one word, then that word we consider as multi-syllabic words. Okay, so from the 1 syllable to 4 syllable, we are giving separate names. But when a word gets more than 4 syllable, if it is 5 syllable or 6 syllables, then we say it as multi-syllabic words. So shall we see some examples for this? Examination, adulteration. These are some examples for multi-syllabic words. Now in your module, page number 40, you can see they have given some words here. You have to syllabify. You know how to syllabify now? How to separate the syllables. And here at the end they have given some column also. First one is monosyllabic, disyllabic, trisyllabic they have given. So from here you take the words. If it is 1 syllable word, you write the word here in the first column. If it is 2 syllable, then write it here in disyllabic column. So here you write all these words according to its number of syllables. Okay, try it out and write it. We shall make a short recap of syllabification. So what is a syllable? Syllable is a unit of letters or alphabets. They are put together and one vowel sound will be dominating it. And it will be of one vowel sound, or it may be surrounded by consonants, or sometimes even without consonants, one vowel sound will make one syllable. So this is syllabification. We saw nearly some 7-8 rules how to syllabify a word in English language. Then we saw how to name the syllables in this. So there are many names we gave as monosyllabic words, disyllabic words, trisyllabic words. These are the names we gave for syllabifying the words. The next topic of today is question tag. This is day 8. You can find in your module. The concept of the day 8 one is question tag. Shall we see some examples for this? You know question, but today we are going to learn about question tags. Today is very hot, isn't it? The boys are very shrewd, aren't they? We enjoyed the holidays, didn't we? So these are some examples for question tags. So what is a question tag? You know about question. What is tag? Question tag means we make a short question at the end of a statement to verify whether the statement is correct or not. Okay. So I'm having a note in my hand and I'm asking you, this is a notebook, isn't it? Yes. I want to clarify whether it is a notebook or something else. If you want to make any clarification, usually we use this question tag. Usually this question tag is used at the end of a sentence. Okay, it is not a question. It is used after a sentence along with it. There won't be any full stop in the sentence. So along with the sentence, this will be continuing as a short question. So how can we form this question tag? What is the formation? Usually it will have an auxiliary verb plus a pronoun and then a question mark. So an auxiliary verb plus pronoun and one question mark will make a question tag. We don't use the normal verb in this part. We use only modal auxiliary verbs in this part. Okay, so auxiliary verbs we use. So we can see More examples, how can we make a question tag? Might plus not, mightn't. Should plus not, shouldn't. Could plus not, couldn't. Would plus not, wouldn't. Have verbs. Have plus not, haven't. Has plus not, hasn't. Had plus not, hadn't. Do verbs. Do plus not, don't. Does plus not, doesn't. Did plus not, didn't. And we also use be form verbs for this question tag. Now, how to frame a question tag? A sentence is given. Now, we have to frame a question tag. How can you frame it? So, first of all, you should know about the sentence. So, what type of sentence is given? Whether it is positive or negative type of sentence, you should be able to identify. கொடுத்துருக்கிற சென்டென்ஸ் வந்து பாசிட்டிவ் ஃபார்மில் இருக்குதா நெகட்டிவ் ஃபார்மில் இருக்குதான்னு நம்ம பார்க்கணும். இஃப் த சென்டென்ஸ் இஸ் இன் பாசிட்டிவ் தென் த டேக் வில் பி நெகட்டிவ். And if the sentence or the statement is negative, the tag should be positive. So, இப்போ negative, positive, negative அப்படின்னா என்ன அப்படின்னா not அப்படின்ற வேர்டு வந்துச்சுன்னா அது நெகட்டிவ் ஃபார்ம். not அப்படின்ற வேர்டு வரல அப்படின்னா அது வந்து பாசிட்டிவ் ஃபார்ம். இது வந்து நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சாதான் நம்ம வந்து கொஸ்டின் டேக்கை கரெக்டாக ஃப்ரேம் பண்ண முடியும். ஸோ ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் வந்து பாசிட்டிவாக இருந்துச்சுன்னா டேக் வந்து நெகட்டிவாக இருக்கணும். ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் நெகட்டிவாக இருந்துச்சுன்னா டேக் வந்து பாசிட்டிவாக இருக்கணும். கொஸ்டின் டேக் பாசிட்டிவாக இருக்கும். ஓகே, த நெக்ஸ்ட் ரூல் இஸ் ஆஃப்டர் த சென்டென்ஸ் there should be a comma. There should not be any full stop. There should be a comma and the question tag will be following it. And in this tag, the first letter should be small letter only because we are not starting a new sentence. We are not starting a new sentence. We are not framing a new question. We are just verifying whether the statement is correct or not. So, it is along with the statement, we are continuing the question tag. So, we should not use capital letters in between. So, after the statement, there should be a comma. And the question tag should be started with small letter only. Okay, we saw positive sentences take a negative tag, isn't it? Okay, so we shall see one example. Mr. Paul is a teacher. In the statement, not அப்படின்ற word varla. So, it is a positive statement. So, how will you frame the question tag? We have the helping verb is, so we can use it. And the tag, the question tag should be negative. Instead of the noun Mr. Paul, we should use pronoun he. So, in the place of noun, we are using pronoun. So, the question tag will be isn't he. Okay, Mr. Paul is a teacher, isn't he is the question tag. Next example is Sheena goes to school regularly. Here also the statement is positive, but the verb is goes. We don't have a helping verb here. The main verb is goes. So, we have to divide the verb as does plus go. And for the tag, we should use does. Doesn't she. The tag should be in negative form, isn't it? Instead of Sheena, we are using she. Did you understand? Next example, he can solve any problem. He can solve any problem. What will be the tag? Can't he? Next example, we should help the poor. The question tag should be shouldn't we. Next example, I am a teacher. Here am is the be form verb and the tag should be aren't I. We can't use amn't I, we should use aren't I. Now we shall see negative statements taking positive tags. Shall we see some examples? We are not cowards. Are we? We are not cowards. So, in the statement, we get the word not. So, the statement is in negative. So, the tag should be positive and We frame it as are we. She is not a dancer. Is she? She is not a dancer. Is she? The statement is negative, so the question tag is positive. Another example, you cannot solve it. Can you? They did not win the medal. Did they? We do not hate others, do we? Rani does not come to school late, does she? So all these statements are negative, so we use positive tags. Okay. And in some statements, the negative statement will be formed in a different way. There will not be a word not, but some negative words will be given there. The words will be like never, none, no one, rarely, scarcely, seldom, few, little, nothing. If we get such negative words, then the tag should be positive. So you should understand the meaning of the statement. If the statement comes in negative meaning, then the tag should be positive. Some more examples. I have never seen the Taj Mahal. Here, never is a negative word, so the tag should be in positive. The tag is have I. I have nothing. Have I? None of the girls sang well. Did they? It happens rarely, does it? So we have given enough examples. So all these examples gives you a clear idea about the positive statement, negative statement, and how to frame question tags. So here also you have more exercises given in your module. Try to do it, frame question tags, and you verify your answers with your class teachers. Thank you, children. Have a nice time.